how the carbon atoms of the fatty acids are numbered. There is a specific method for the numbering of the carbon atoms for the fatty acid, right? So this is the structure of the fatty acid, right? But the open conformation for the fatty acid is that it has the carboxyl group and the long chain of hydrocarbons. That the fatty acids are amphipathic in nature. It is having both the hydrophilic region and the hydrophobic region. This carboxyl group is the hydrophilic region, that it does not it likes the water. It will be towards the water surfaces, and these hydrocarbon chains are the hydrophobic, that they will be away from the water surfaces. They don't like the water. So that's why it can exist in both environments. So that's why their fatty acids are amphipathic in nature, because they are having both hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Okay, hydrophilic and hydrophobic region. So carboxyl group, carboxyl acid, and the long chain of hydrocarbons. So how it will be numbered? So how these carbon numbers, as it has the chemical formula, like these carbon numbers varies for different types of fatty acid. The numbering is always start from the carboxyl group. Okay, numbering हमेशा carboxyl group से start होगी. The carbon of the carboxyl group is always numbered 1. Okay, जो numbering start होगी हमेशा carboxyl group से start होगी and will be proceed to these hydrocarbon chains. फिर बाकी numbering जो है hydrocarbon chains तक होगी until last में इसके क्या होता है, methyl group होता है, CH3, right? Last we can see there is the methyl group CH3. Okay, so so the numbering always starts from the first carbon. Okay, first carbon, that is the carboxyl group. Carboxyl group जो है वो first carbon होगा, then the other carbon is hydrocarbon chain is number 2, then उसके बाद 3 आएगा, फिर 4 आएगा, 5, 6 and so on. Okay, until the whole hydrocarbon chain is completed. Okay, तो इस तरह से जो आपके पास क्या होता है, numbering की जाती है. So this structure shown here is for the palmitic acid. As I told you that there are different types of fatty acids, depends on the number of these हाइड्रोकार्बन चेन्स. ठीक है, कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप और मिथाइल ग्रुप सेम रहता है, लेकिन बीच में आपके पास क्या होता है, ये सारे हाइड्रोकार्बन चेन जो है नंबर वेरी करते हैं. So this is the palmitic acid. For palmitic acid, in the palmitic acid 16 carbons are present. Okay, so that's why they are numbered from carbon number 1 to carbon number 16 in a series, in a sequence, starting from the methyl group to the starting from the carboxyl group to the methyl group. Okay, so this is how it is in the fatty acid numbering is done. Okay, then उसके अलावा जो है आपके पास जो कार्बन नंबर 1 होता है, ठीक है, या आपके पास जो कार्बन नंबर 1 होता है fatty acid में, it is always the carboxyl group, and the carbon number 2, it is labeled as alpha. Okay, the carbon number 2 is also known as alpha carbon, and the carbon number 3 is known as beta carbon, right? और इसी तरह से आपके पास जो end carbon होता है, the end carbon, the methyl carbon, is known as omega carbon, right? So this is known as omega carbon, and this is known as alpha carbon and beta carbon. These are known as alpha beta because in the synthesis of the cholesterol, 2 carbons are added for the synthesis of the cholesterol. और जब मेटाबॉलिज्म के प्रोसेस होते हैं, ठीक है, जब ऑक्सीडेशन होती है फैटी एसिड्स की फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ टू प्रोवाइड द एनर्जी, तो उस केस में क्या होता है कि आपके पास जो है वो बीटा ऑक्सीडेशन, यहाँ से उसकी क्या होती है, ब्रेकेज होती है, 2 कार्बन अलग होते हैं. तो so that's why this beta जो है आपके पास अल्फा बीटा होता है. तो बीटा ऑक्सीडेशन इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट ऑक्सीडेटिव पाथवे फॉर द फैटी एसिड्स. उसके अलावा अल्फा ऑक्सीडेशन भी आपके पास होता है, ठीक है. So fatty acid carbon atoms are numbered starting at the carboxyl terminal. The carboxyl group will be, the carbon will be the first carbon, and the second and third carbon are known as alpha and beta carbons, right? And the methyl carbon, that is at the terminal end of the hydrocarbon chains, will always be called as omega carbon.